Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. I'm going to start off by reading the introductory text. It goes by pretty fast, so I'm going to read it offhand here. The best techniques are passed on by the survivors. Guided Shinji. For centuries, different factions battled in petty wars and border conflicts, until in the Second Era 896, Tiber Septim crushed all those who opposed him and took control, proclaiming himself as emperor. Still, the bitter years of war had its effect on the populace. The name Tamriel, Elvish for Dawn's beauty, seldom fell from anguished lips and was soon forgotten. In a place where life and death were different sides of the same coin tossed every day, the people of the world began calling the land of their sorrow the Arena. Now, 492 years after the Tiber Septim took control and kept the peace, the land of the Arena has a new threat. The Emperor Uriel Septim VII celebrates his 43rd birthday, but jealous hearts desire the throne and plot his downfall. It is said that hope flies on death's wings. Prepare then, for as the Elder Scrolls foretold, it will be here that your adventure begins. And so our adventure will begin today. We're doing a character creation guide. I'm going to be taking you through start to finish making a character. I already have a character that I have in mind, but I'm going to walk you through it, kind of give you a rundown of all the characters, races, classes, etc. Now, when I hit start new game, it's going to do another little intro cutscene. I'm going to read that as well because it goes by pretty fast. So here we go. It's pretty loud, so prepare yourselves. Uriel Septim IV, Emperor of Tamriel, stands with Talon, Emperor of the Imperial Guards. They have been summoned by Yagar Tharn, Imperial Battle Mage of the Empire, on rumors of treachery. The Emperor is betrayed and transported to a dimension of Tharn's choosing. After months of preparation, Yagar Tharn takes the throne. Rhea Selmain, once Tharn's apprentice, is captured before she can warn the Elder Council of the Imperial Battle Mage's treachery. Manipulating the essence of magic, Tharn prepares to take the true Emperor's place as ruler of the known land. The Imperial Wizard wastes no time in gathering his servants and turning them into twisted counterparts of the Emperor's Guard. And so begins our adventure and our character creation right now. So, how do you wish to select your class? If you select Generate, you will be asked some questions, and depending on how you answer those questions, you will get points. You will either get warrior points, wizard points, or thief points. And at the end, the most class thing that you answer, so like say you answer like, how would you handle this problem? Smash it with a hammer. You're gonna get warrior points. If you like sneak around and find a sneaky way around, you'll get thief points. And if you're like, let's come to a logical conclusion, you'll get a wizard points, right? Like kind of like that. And so the more points that you get, you'll get a class generated based on your answers. Or you can go select. Okay, now if you go down to select a class, which is what we're going to do, you will be given a list of all the classes in the game, and there are quite a few. So, like I mentioned before, there are 3 main classes and then subclasses. So I'm going to be going over the classes with you briefly, so you can kind of get an idea of how you want to play the game, for example. I already know what I'm going to be playing, but the 3 classes, like I said, are the thief classes. The description in the manual says, although all thieves and thief subclasses have the ability to pick locks, pickpockets, and steal items, various classes have certain advantages or disadvantages in these areas. The governing statistics for all thief classes are agility and intelligence. High speed rating is also very desirable. So the thief classes are thieves, burglars, assassins, rogues, and acrobats. most of these can usually use only certain weapons, like for example, the thief can use daggers, short swords, broadswords, sabers, and war axes, short bows. So there's quite a few things that the thief can use. But for example, let's see. Well, no, actually, all the thief skills can use all weapons. Assassins can use any weapon. Rogues can use any weapon. Acrobats can use almost every weapon. And bards can use a lot of weapons as well. Yeah, so if you're trying to think of a sneaky character that's going to sneak around, maybe the thief class is for you. Warrior classes, on the other hand, and their subclasses are the strong arm of the Empire. They are very versatile and useful in most situations, since there is no question that any problem can be solved with a sword. Unless otherwise specified, warriors and their subclasses cannot ever cast spells. The governing statistics for warriors and their subclasses are strength and endurance. A high agility is also desirable, since this directly affects their armor rating. The warrior subclasses are the warrior, which can equip any armor, weapon, or shield, knights, rangers, and archers, not to mention monks and barbarians. Now, we're not going to be picking either of those. We're actually going to go with a mage class for us. Mage classes, wizards and their subclasses use and manipulate the essence of magic. They are, at high levels, some of the most powerful characters available to play, mainly because of the wide variety of spells they can employ, and let me tell you, this game has some amazing spells. Wizards and their subclasses use intelligence and willpower as their governing statistics. We'll talk about statistics later, but the class we are going to be using is Nightblade. Now, mage classes are the mage, sorcerers, healers, battle mages, spell swords, and nightblades. Nightblades in particular are those mages who have perfected their arts to help in activities involving infiltration, spying, and stealth. Think of a mix of a thief and a wizard, and you got a Nightblade, right? They are much like thieves, creatures of the night, able to use their considerable powers to help them in their nocturnal activities. In combat, Nightblades receive a chance per level of scoring a critical hit. That's 3 times damage. And Nightblades can pick locks about as well as rogues. They also receive 1.5 times their intelligence and starting spell points. Now, Nightblades are limited to daggers, staffs, short bows, short swords, and sabers. They can only wear leather armor and can only use bucklers. Their starting health is 25 hit points plus a d8, so a maximum of 33, but a minimum of 26. So that's not a lot. But we're going to be going with Nightblades because they can use weapons, but are also pretty good at picking locks, and that's going to come in handy later on. I do like... It's going to be tough at first. Picking a Nightblade is going to be tough. Because, well, it is difficult to start off with. They're not very strong. We're going to be kind of... I wouldn't say handicapped, but kind of handicapped at the very beginning of the game. Oops, nope. I did not mean to hit enter. We're actually going to be playing, we're playing as a character named Xena Rim in Morrowind as part of the Morak Tong, and I figured, why not play as, not the same character, but the same character. Obviously not the same character. Morrowind takes place too far into the future for it to be the same Xena Rim. But anyway, it's going to be Xena Rim. That's who we're going to play as this time. Xena Rim is a female. Now, we're going to be picking our race. Races have different statistics and are, good and bad at different things. It's pretty important in this game. I know it's not as important in like Skyrim, but in Morrowind and even Oblivion, your starting race was a pretty important part of your character creation. In this game, we can pick Nords, Khajiit, Redguards, Bretons, Argonians, Wood Elves, High Elves, and Dark Elves. Notice there's no Imperial. Obviously, the Bretons are coming from High Rock. You got your Redguards from Hammerfell, Nords from Skyrim, Dark Elves. Notice that we're called Dark Elves here. We don't have the Dunmer, Bosmer, and Altmer yet. Elsewhere is the Khajiit, and Black Marsh is the Argonians. Now, the Argonians and the Khajiit, they're not what we know as Khajiit and Argonians now. They're not full cats, and these are not like lizard people in the sense that we know them, but everyone else you can kind of pick, and they're kind of what you expect. I'm actually going to go with a Dark Elf for this particular character. Dark Elves hail from the province of Morrowind. They are tall, dark-skinned people with red, glowing eyes. They are known to be extremely strong and intelligent and very quick. Dark Elves seem innately attuned to weaving magic with weapons. Dark Elves receive their level, divided by 4, as a bonus to hit and damage with any melee or ranged weapon. They are adept in any sort of art involving the blade and shield combined with the arcane arts. So yes, we're going to be a Dark Elf. Thou hast chosen Morrowind, land of the Dark Elves. Would thou'st accept this as thy home? Then thou wilt be known as the Nightblade Zinarim, who wouldst call Morrowind, the land of the Dark Elves, her home. Know ye this also, thy race is as deadly as the thorns of the black rose, which blooms only in thy mother's breast. Thou hast all that is graceful in thy brothers of day, yet thy mother is the moon, and thou art her children of the night. Thy body and mind must be agile and intelligent, if thou art to succeed as a Nightblade. This is kind of a hint of what you should be picking in the next screen. Go ye now in peace, let thy fate be written in the Elder Scrolls. Distribute thy points as needed, keeping in mind the recommendations for thy chosen class. So yes, indeed, and we're going to be going through all of these modifiers. So you start off here. You can re-roll if you don't like this. If you hit done, you can re-roll. Early on, it's going to be tough. Because early on, we're not going to be having a lot of magic. We're not going to be having a lot of magic spells. We rolled pretty good health. What did I say? It was 25 plus a d8, so we rolled a 30. It could be worse. I think 33 is the max, so this is not bad. But let's go through each of these statistics, right? Strength is this number. It modifies the amount of damage you can inflict in hand-to-hand combat. People with strength rating 55 and above will have a positive modifier. Those with 45 and below have a negative. So we're at 50. We have 14 points to play with. It increases your damage, so the higher this number goes, the higher this damage goes, and the max kilos goes up as well, so your carry capacity. Intelligence. The number here represents the amount of magical power a spellcaster has. Non-spellcasters will have a 0 in this slot. Spellcasters will have a range from 2 to 200. Sorcerers can have a range from 3 to 300. As a spellcaster's intelligence rating increases, so will his or her spell points available for casting. We have 88 spell points right now. This is going to be important to us in the long run. I think at the beginning, we're going to not really put as many points into it as we should, as later on in the game, but we'll put a couple of points per level up. Willpower, that's a W, by the way, it's not a V. Willpower is magic defense. This number represents the penalty or bonus an opposing spellcaster gets when attacking you. The higher your willpower, the better chance you have of resisting spells cast at you. So right now our magic defense is -1. This is important, but I think with different spells and items that we'll get later in the game, this will not be as big of an issue. So I don't think I'm going to put as much into willpower as I will into intelligence. Now, agility. This is your 2 hit and 2 defend. This game does armor rating a little bit different than you might be used to if you're used to modern games, because your agility is the number. This number represents the bonus or penalty you receive when attacking an opponent in hand-to-hand melee. The higher your agility rating, the better your chance of hitting your opponent. Now, to defend is the number. This number represents the addition or reduction to your armor rating because of your natural agility or clumsiness. The higher your agility rating, the more is subtracted from your armor rating. Remember, the lower your armor rating, the more protected you are. So we'll start off probably with like a +8. That's really bad. We want that number in the negative. Negative is better than positive, which means that this number being positive means more is being subtracted from the total. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but let's say, I'm telling you, we're going to start at +8. So say this was +2, we would actually start it at +6, because it subtracts 2 from the 8. If this was a negative, then we would probably get a 10, because it would be 2 subtracted -2, which, you know, if you subtract the negative, it's actually addition. So that would be a 10. I know, like I said, it's kind of complicated. You would think that this would be better negative if negative is better, and positive if positive is worse, but it's not. So we want this number high, which will reduce our overall armor rating. And you have armor rating for like your head, your shoulders, your midriff, your thighs, your legs, and your feet. And I think your gloves as well. So there's plenty of negative to go around. Your hit is important as well. You want to be hitting things as often as possible, especially early on in the game. Now, your speed. Although speed is explained under the stats section, it is important to mention here that a character with a higher speed rating turns quicker and runs faster. These advantages or penalties can make the difference between life and death. So yeah, you just turn faster and run faster. There's not a lot of running away from bad guys. Trust me, they can catch you. Now, turn speed is important. So speed is a good thing to kind of put a couple of points in. Endurance represents how many health points are added or subtracted from your health during character generation and each time you level. Characters with a high endurance rating will receive more health points on average each time they gain a level. So right now we're getting a +1 every time we level up. It's good to put a few points in endurance as well. Personality, specifically this affects charisma. It modifies the base chance of you successfully negotiating with the different people you may meet while adventuring in the land. Characters with a high personality rating will find it much easier to get cheaper prices, better sales, and more information from those they meet. So that's kind of important as well. Later on, not right now. And finally, luck. It is important to mention here that luck can have a profound effect on your life. Characters with a high luck rating find that they have a better chance at everything they attempt to do. Conversely, those with a low luck rating find that things don't always work out their way. And that is all of the statistics. Now, early on, I think I'm going to put a couple of points into damage just to get that to +1. I do want to get my agility. Come on. There. That's not great, but that'll do. 6 points left. Early on, I think I'm just going to stick with... Yeah, that'll give me 1 point higher. Ooh, I think I'm going to put 2 more points so I can get that bonus. And I think the rest are just going to go into agility. For now, I think spell points are going to be useful, but I think at the very beginning of the game, it's more useful to have survivability. Magic is going to be very powerful. Very, very, very powerful later on. Trust me, it's going to be amazing. But early on, magic's not going to help. We just need to survive. We're starting off with 30 hit points, 111 fatigue, 199 gold, 110 carry capacity, 90 spell points. I think that's good. Like I said, you could re-roll. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to save the stats. I'm just going to play as is. And I will choose thy appearance. Thy mien can be altered by clicking thy face. When thou art finished, select done and enter the world of Tamriel, home of the arena. I like this face. This is the face I like for a female Dark Elf. So we're going to stick with that. And we are done.
Do not fear, for it is I, Rhea Silnane. Listen to me. There are no others left to carry on this fight. You have been left in this cell to die. Jagarthon, Imperial Battle, Mage of Tamriel, has taken on the guise of the true Emperor. He does not see you as a threat, being only a minor part of the Imperial Court. In that act of arrogance, he has made his first mistake. Look to the north wall of the cell. You will find a ruby key which will unlock the door. Take it and make your escape. The passages here were once used by Tharn to hide treasures he had stolen from the Emperor's coffer. If you wish, you can gather enough to support yourself away from the Imperial seat. Be careful. There are many creatures which inhabit the sewers now, vile rats and goblins. It is too late for me, for I am already dead. Only my powers as a sorceress keep me between this life and the next. That power, however, is waning. Do not succumb to greed, or you may find these tunnels to be your final resting place as well. I can still work my magic to a certain extent. If you travel west from this cell, then south, you will find a shift gate. It will transport you far enough from the center of the Empire that you should be safe. If you survive these sewers, you will see me again. Remember, Tharn has taken on the guise of the Emperor. No one will gainsay his word for yours. I will come to you again in your dreams, so it is imperative that you rest from time to time. In that way, I will be able to communicate with you and lend my aid. You are entering a dangerous arena, my friend, one in which the players are beings beyond your mortal comprehension. I do not envy your role. There is, however, a power within you, as yet untapped. Look for me when you have gained experience in the world. You are my last and best hope.
And so begins our adventure. Xenarim, the Dark Elf Nightblade. We're +9. That's awful. That's really bad. We're gonna get hit a lot. So we got head, we got shoulders, we got chest, midriff, I guess. Yeah, it's not gonna be good, guys. I think this is your hands, actually. But overall, it's not good. We have a dagger. We're gonna go ahead and equip that. We have 2 spells that we know: Fire Dart, Light Heal. Yes. Ah, jeez. Okay. That's it. And with that, we begin our adventure. I hope you guys are excited for this series. I am very excited to play this game. This first dungeon is going to be hard, okay? We're going to have a hard time. I'm not going to lie to you. We might die a few times in here, but we're going to explore. We're going to try to get as much equipment, gold, loot as we possibly can, and then make our way out. But that's going to have to wait till the next episode. So, hope you will join me for episode 1 of The Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. See you next time.